Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're so thankful that you guys are here today. We are beginning a new series today, called Becoming a Parent. And if you've been listening to the podcast for a while now, or if this is your first time, we love to just talk and have conversation about parenthood, childhood, all things development, and relationships, and talk about just how we believe that the Lord designed those things and his intended purpose for them and how we can operate in that. So
good.
Yeah, we're excited to talk about this today, and
excited to get into it.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna treat this more of an intro episode. So why is this important? Why is it important that we're talking about this?
Frame the conversation that's going to be going on.
So as we're diving through the 6 stages of parenting, we're just kind of exploring it. So we thought we'd use this episode as just kind of a intro, ease into it. So
set the stage. Speaking of setting the stage.
What?
Our viewers, those of you who are watching us go through the difficult process.
Still the process of transitioning.
Setting up our new space. This is our newest look.
New tapestry thing that we have in the background.
Tapestry thing in the background. Oh my goodness. This is
and we're also back in the other corner.
Yeah, we're in the other corner.
Again.
Against the other wall. It's been a thing. Thank you for being patient with us for whatever this has been looking like.
Who knows?
It's not been the best look. We know this.
Yeah.
It's been
I'm pretty sure last
journey.
week we were editing it and randomly the camera kept going out of focus. And we were
oh, no.
well, we already recorded it. There's nothing we can do.
Listen, we're warts and all. This is what we do.
I don't know. It just would randomly go out of focus. So hopefully that doesn't happen again.
I feel
this
like
week.
it being perfect would be off brand.
For us.
Yeah.
Because we're not.
Because we're definitely not. And, but yeah. So if anyone else out there has attempted a podcast, I know you feel our pain. And for those of you who might be thinking about it, just remember this.
It's painful. No, I'm just kidding.
There are aspects of it
it's
that
great.
are
It's just
wow,
it's definitely been a learning curve.
For sure. Yeah.
It's definitely been a learning curve. So
But as most things are learning curves, even talking about parenting. Parenting is a learning curve.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we as we were talking about it, we were there is we've gone through our series, Are We There Yet? Talking about the developmental stages of childhood.
Yeah.
But there's the same amount of development that happens as a parent. I don't think anyone would say that they're the same parent that they were whenever they first started.
Yeah.
You're developing. And there's actually defined psychological stages to that that have been defined.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so
we just thought it'd be cool to go through them. And
okay.
And you're a counselor, so you know.
I study psychology and
and so you know these stages.
Yeah.
And
so we're gonna talk about those things. I was thinking about the becoming a parent. We'll get farther into this next time, but can you remember the first time you thought about becoming a parent?
I don't think I could remember it. I'm sure it was probably early on because, you always see kids have the drawings of mom, dad, and kid. I don't know. I feel because I remember too, if we were ever playing in school, it was always you're playing your mom or you're playing a dad and a little baby and a kid. You're always wanting to play
a
family stuff. Yes, family stuff. And I'm actually babysitting this girl right now, and she loves to be all right, I'm the mom and you're the little baby. or I'm the mom and the baby's sick and I have to read to the baby.
And
let her know when it's morning and make her breakfast. And so like even seeing she's 4, and so like seeing how
Like she's
she's already
about
thinking about like
being a parent.
yes, and
Yeah.
not even being like I want to have a baby right now. It's just like I think she thinks it's exciting, like
Yeah, like
to
being
think
a
about
mom.
being a mom, and she loves her mom, and so she's like I want to be a mom too, you know.
Yeah.
And so I feel like really early on we all kind of have some sort of recognition that one day we're going to be a parent. I feel like I've encountered very few people who have been like, I've never wanted children, you know, like
yeah. I mean, it's fine if
it's
people
fine
don't
if
want
people don't want
kids,
children, but like
yeah,
I don't
at
think
least the thought's been in their mind and they've entertained it, I guess.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we see like everyone like probably at one point like thinks about being a parent, wants to be a parent, but I feel like that's very different than actually being a parent. And so
Yeah.
that's
true.
again where the development comes in, you know. And so I feel like there is even a stage of just like the ideal and like probably what even if they're just or married or they're pregnant, they have this ideal of what being a parent is going to be like, that may be really accurate if they like maybe had or maybe are like afraid of being a parent. You know what I'm saying? Like it might be closer to what it actually is, or like maybe they just have like a more realistic view. But there's also a lot of people who are like, I think seeing it as like they know in theory that there's gonna be trials, but like mostly it's gonna be like this like picture perfect kind of thing.
Yeah, I think people come into parenting or wanting to be a parent some like for varied reasons. I think sometimes we tend to like the idea of having the opportunity to caregive for someone, to nurture a baby and see them grow up. We might sometimes people will want to have a child because maybe their childhood wasn't the best. Oh, bless you.
Thanks.
Maybe their childhood wasn't the best, and it was, maybe they're seeking some kind of like corrective kind of experience where they're able to care for and love that child in a way that they wish they would have received. Some people will feel like, I have a lot to offer. I have a lot to, maybe I have a lot to offer in terms of love and care. Maybe I have the means to take care of children. And so that brings me into parenthood. And this doesn't always mean, it's bringing to mind, it doesn't always mean to be a parent is not always to give birth to a child and to have a baby. We've got, obviously the dads are not giving birth, but then also we have, people who choose to be parents, by adoption, or, there are many different ways that we can become even like caregivers for children.
Yeah, I think I also came in mind as like I know definitely I like heard of people like just like out of love for their spouse too, like
Oh yeah,
like, I just want to create something with you,
yeah.
Which isn't the best way if like you're not actually wanting a kid, like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. But
right, I mean that's problematic.
Yes,
We talked
it can be
about
problematic, but like
yeah.
I think it's also like a sweet sentiment if you're like actually wanting to like do this with your spouse and like
yeah
do it together, and like that's like a
right. It just probably needs to evolve into something that is
that's also a love for the child. Yes,
and not just for the caregiver.
Yes,
or the parents. So yeah, so lots of different reasons.
Okay, so whenever now this is making me think, and so like whenever you first became a parent, or were even thinking about becoming a parent, like what was your like expectations? What were your hopes and dreams? No, I'm just kidding.
My hopes and dreams about parenting,
or just like maybe like there was like a shocking reality, or like why did you want to become a parent? I mean,
I think so. I think there was an aspect of it that was like it was the next thing to do.
Yeah.
It was like when you get married, and after a while you have kids.
Yep.
And to be honest, I think that that was a big part of it, which I don't think is the best reason to have kids.
Yeah.
But what that meant was I had to
You're like, you
kind of
got
like
married. This is the
negotiate
next
that
thing.
along
Yeah.
the way. But it's like, I don't know that I don't think I'm alone in that was kind of my mindset, because it was like you become an adult, you go to school, you get a career, you get married, you have children. And like, I knew that that was like a life that I wanted. I knew that I wanted to have kids. And so it just felt like we were kind of settling,
And it was time.
and it was time. Yeah. And I was getting, I wasn't old by any means, but I was getting older because I didn't have you till I was 27.
Yeah.
And that's not old at all. But at the time, it was, and in the church world, that tends to be like on the later side.
Yes.
A lot of people have children, start
Very
having children
early.
a lot younger.
Yeah.
And so, but we had been married for, like 4 or
5
so
years.
like about 5 years by the time I had you. And now,
What you
but
guys had
yeah.
always like prioritized, or you've like what you've told me and Braden too is like you guys made it a priority to just be married for a while.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And so that was, I think, a good call. And like
Yeah.
something that like me and Braden have talked about is like we both want to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk about it.
Be
And
married for a little
we want to
bit.
be married for a little bit.
Yeah. And we but so we had the benefit of it being, something that was like we could choose because it was an option for us. And I know it's not an option for everyone. It was something, it was not difficult. I did not have to go through fertility problems and things like that. And so, you don't know how long it's going to take. And I didn't know if I was going to have any issues. And so, you know, but basically when we decided to get pregnant, we did get pregnant. So
yeah,
there
like
was
it
no
was no waiting.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no waiting period between like, let's
try for a baby.
baby.
Yeah.
But then there was like, it was like almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's something we'll definitely address in the series is like in becoming a parent, there can be a lot of disappointment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Of just waiting and waiting and waiting.
And just this process in and of itself can be extremely difficult, extremely disappointing.
Yeah.
I've had lots of friends and even family members who struggle with infertility, and that is a very painful process because there is a longing, and and so sometimes, especially whenever you have people in your life who that this is a desire of theirs and it's not happening for them, that can be hard too, to hold both that I dream and wish for a child and that's happening for me, and I really, really feel for and feel sad for and share that longing with my friend or with my family member that they would have
that they would also have a child. Yeah. I feel like that's a very real desire, and like I feel like that's something that like is really special about like being a part of the body, is that we're able to like celebrate victories together and
hopefully,
and grieve losses together.
Hopefully.
I feel like if we're operating as we should be.
Yeah. And sensitive, compassionate, the way that the Lord feels toward us, because there's something about the fact that we're made to procreate, and then when that's not working, when that's like not in order, like that things are not working like they should be working, how difficult that is, and how much people will feel like,
I feel like a stranger to your own body a little bit.
Yeah,
of like
how
how
my
my body's betraying me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not functioning in the way that it should. And so, but like the way that God made it. So that can be really, really challenging. But back to your question, I think for me it was like I'm getting older. we wanted to, did not, dad for sure did not want to be an old dad. He
Yeah.
had like fears about being an old dad, not being able to do things with you guys. And
That's
so
hilarious.
I know. It was a big deal for him.
He was
just
like,
kept
I do not
talking
want to
about
be an
like, I
old
don't want to be an
dad.
old dad. He was upset. He was 29. He was going to be in his 30s whenever he had, Braden. And but
That's hilarious.
I know. Yeah, it was a real issue. And so, but I definitely think it's just hard to imagine the long haul. I had thoughts about, I thought I would be a good teenager mom.
What'd you have, Ben?
Man, but I thought it was going to
You
be
thought
like
it was gonna be hard
fun.
Oh, hey, it's had its moments of fun.
It is fun, but it's a lot more hard than fun at times. And so I thought that would be fun, and that I was going to be, because we'd worked with teenagers so much that I was like, oh,
Teenagers
I've
gonna be
got
easy.
that. Yeah, the teenagers going to be
But
easy.
you were like the baby part, and you were like,
no. Underestimated how, and I was excited about the baby. I was excited about having the baby and like caring for the baby, but I also was not excited about not sleeping, and that continued to be a theme of having difficulty with sleeping. Because especially with you, bless your heart, you had a hard time sleeping. Yes. Yeah. And you just woke up a lot. And so, and yeah, anyway, it just definitely disrupted my sleep. And so I think for me, it was just like really trying to shed the selfishness in my life. And I was just, I think, a very selfish person before I had kids. And I don't think that went away immediately. Yeah. I think it was like, it's been a long process of, and I think like a pruning process that's happened through parenting that I don't know, for me, like another way that would have happened. Yeah. So I think about like how I think my spiritual life has developed, kind of parallel even to my parenting journey in life. And yeah, so anyway.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've been through all different stages of being a parent, and like kind of having to adjust to like what your expectations were and versus like reality.
For
and
sure.
So
yeah, and that's a lot of what the stages of parenting that we're going to talk about is going to involve, is that like that negotiation. And so yeah, really, really having to shed what your expectations and hopes are, so that you can understand and know your child, like who God created them to be, versus like God's not giving us children to just have them be just an extension of ourselves, for instance, like they're meant to be
their own.
Yeah, they're meant to be disciples. They're going to have a unique calling, set of giftings. They're going to have God's going to have a plan and purpose for their life that is different than you, like beyond you and apart from you. And so there's a process to that. And that I think God's super faithful to us in, if we are, obedient, and we're able to follow him in the process. Yeah. But it's definitely got its challenges. And I think that's why we're talking about it, is because I think it can seem like, okay, I'm becoming a parent. It's what I was made to do. And like, my body was created for this, like for either, impregnating or being pregnant, or my instincts were created for parenting, even if I'm not giving birth. And so, or, procreating myself, but I'm, becoming a parent for another child. Like there's something about that seems like it should be innate, that we do well. And so I think that can be like a source of shame and regret and pain for people when it doesn't go smoothly. Yeah. And I mean, that I see that all the time in my counseling practice where you've got, difficulties between the parent and the child, but so much of it has to do with the child not meeting the
The
parent's
parents' needs.
expectations
Yeah.
or their needs, what they were hoping to get from parenting, um, working even with adults or adult parents, having things that were unresolved from their own childhood experience of being parented. It's a really big deal. It's a lifelong
Journey and
yeah, journey, and lifelong implications for whether that goes well or not.
Yeah.
And whether or not we can reconcile these
Yeah.
things and try to make it, do our best to make things right,
Yeah.
and being obedient, to where God's leading us as parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I had the thought come to mind again of just the, and we've talked about this before, but like a child being like a seed that the Lord has sown in our lives. And like what kind of ground is it going to fall on?
Yeah.
And so, and this is kind of what you were talking, like you're probably with like the selfishness, your heart was
Yeah.
one of the thorny ones,
Yeah, it
or
was
that was
thorny.
going to come up and choke the seed, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so kind of just thinking about that and like, asking the Lord to search your heart and search you. And it's going to be, I think, something that like, not even just parents, we all have to do often, you know, in order to see. And like, our hope for this series isn't so much that it feels like a checklist that like, okay, I've hit that stage, I've hit that stage. Although you should be developing through the stages, you know.
Yeah.
But that it feels more like an encouragement and like a better understanding of like God's design for parenting, instead of like, okay, so I've been doing this wrong the whole time or anything like that. If that's not discouraging, but that it's encouraging.
Yeah, and even knowing that like what I'm experiencing as a parent is
Normal, yeah.
Because sometimes because we've hoped for this child, we've prayed for this child, or these children, we've been expectant, and then finally, we have what we've been asking for, and then it doesn't feel great, or it feels really challenging, or it's bringing out things in you, a way of being that's like not honoring God, or not, and not honoring that parent-child relationship well. And so then that can be feeling very, very isolated, because we tend to look at parenting on a very, I think as a society, like on a very surface level, like what's the nursery look like, and how are you gonna dress them, what sports are you gonna put them in, and where do you want to send them to school, and have they learned their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s? Are they reading before they go to kindergarten? Like all of these, like these things that, as like, if you're a good parent, then it means you've done these things, and this is what your life looks like and your child's life looks like. And then all of the things that are really happening internally and are happening between you and your child's relationship are, maybe difficult and uncomfortable or challenging, and there's not a lot of space for talking about those deeper and more challenging aspects of parenting.
And so this will be the space.
This will be the space.
We're
going to give you
it.
some space to think about it, to talk about it, to feel like, like to be, to like have somebody acknowledging what you might be going through as a parent, or what you might have already been through. You may be a little farther along the line, or down the line, but then you realize like maybe I didn't really work through that stage the way that I needed to. And maybe it's, it's never too late. Maybe I need to think on that some more. Yeah. And I was thinking about this too, like, as you're kind of preparing for these episodes, I would like to give you guys some, maybe some like prompts for like reflection yourself, on each of these kind of stages of parenting, so that we can think a little more deeply about that, and it's only going to benefit your children, your relationship with God, and
Yeah.
your relationship between you guys.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So we're excited to get into this series.
Yep.
Next week, 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, we're excited. So, how you wanna?
Like, we're excited.
Sorry, yeah, we're excited.
We are.
I'm
excited.
smiling. I'm smiling. It just doesn't sound like it in my voice.
That's funny. we are
We are
excited.
We're excited.
I am a robot.
We're excited.
Yeah, we are. Okay. We've said excited way too many times.
Way too many times. Yeah, we need to get out of here.
Yeah. All right, let's close it up.
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
And listening.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram to find out when we drop episodes. Every other Monday.
Yeah, every other Monday.
We drop episodes, and so make sure to follow us. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.